Welcome, travelers! If you're new here, my name is Brenna. I am your overactive and downtime DM, and welcome to Tales from the Catacombs. This is our tabletop RPG adventure that we are thrilled to share with you. This game uses the Dungeons&Dragons 5th edition system and rules, and the setting is a homebrew based on the rock album Razia's Shadow by Forgive Durden. We have a brief introduction to the setting that you are welcome to read at your leisure, and I hope you will, so you can be as immersed in the world as our players are. Without further ado, please enjoy this session of Razia's Shadow, a 1,000-year interlude. Let us recap. Session 28, A Novice Guide to Murder. Beau was introduced to Warrit, a druid with a pendant similar to the one Beau owned. He didn't get the answers he hoped for about the one who gave it to him, and left with his mood soured. The novices made their way to Saker's Keep, only to find that both Gaworo and Jeremy weren't there for questioning. Beau was insistent to get into Gaworo's office and find what may be hidden behind the magic wall Snow once discovered. Ste'yn had questions for the acolyte Yonai, which gave Beau more time for his heist. But with the trouble he seemed to have, Ste'yn helped convince him that they could try to get into the office another day. Next was Kepner's command. Viola returned the items she had checked out and found Ziva's sign-out from a few days prior. Viola went back to the group to find the others arguing about what one of the artifratters may or may not know about Ziva's assignment and return. The novices considered that Sazian might know something too, since he seemed to have a hand in most of the comings and goings of the city. And they were right. Sazian knew that when the guards returned from Undra, only 3 of the 4 came back, and the purpose of the trip might have been different than expected. The novices wanted to talk to Vaughn next. As they passed through the Wild Pike to reach the novice command offices, Ste'yn noted that she was getting particular attention from Rosita and the barmaids and bar lads. Rosita reassured her she only meant to be polite. As they continued on, Viola pointed out a dangerous idea. Rosita's metal rings might have been connected to Ziva's bracelet, Jeremy's medallion, and the possessed bandit leader. Ste'yn's magic didn't detect any fiends, which seemed to close off another thread of the mystery. You guys were making your way after Ste'yn had done her round through the pike, just double checking, making sure she didn't spot anything, and that could have been fiend, elemental, celestial, aberration, etc. You guys started to make your way out of the Wild Pike and towards the novice hut.
Well, you didn't just head out yet because there was something Beau was going to do in there.
Yes.
So
yes,
wait a minute, to clarify on one of the things you just said. So are the only people that were staring at Ste'yn then the staff? Or was there also patrons?
Is that Beau trying to clarify who might be looking
Beau
at her?
Well, Beau did look around the room too. I don't remember exactly how much she... Because I know that I think Viola and Ste'yn picked up more than what Beau and Snow did, but I think Beau at least there was at least conversation, so he knows people were staring. If at the very least he didn't see the ones that were.
Well, and he would have heard Viola telling Ste'yn, and she said, like, I know, like, not to say that you're not beautiful because you are, but maybe all the people looking and waving at you is from
something going on, but you are very pretty.
Oh, she knows.
She didn't want to be rude.
Our girl does not need a bigger head. As far as that is concerned, between looking around and generally what Viola was saying, it just seems to be the kindness of Rosita and the staff. I mean, people might have, waved as you went by, potentially, but really people are just minding their own. It was really just Rosita and the staff.
Okay, that I didn't pick that up the last time, so
gotcha. We'll add that to whatever perception check we apparently made last time.
Well, it happened twice last time because it was the time we were leaving and the time we were coming back, so it wasn't clear any of those times there was only staff and not any of the people eating there.
Makes sense. Yeah, you'd probably just pick up, at least you just notice Rosita for sure, the barmaids, bar lads for sure. There was something Beau wanted to do?
Well, that was when I thought there were people that were doing it, not just the staff. So.
Oh, you should totally do it anany. I was ready for this time killer. No, I'm kidding. You guys were just heading straight to the Novice Hut then, and the command offices?
Mm-hmm. Believe so.
Sounds good. So you guys exit the Wild Pike. I will say one thing that you would have noticed that I forgot about, and it's not necessarily a big deal, but the stage that you have seen multiple times now going through. There's a larger stage, there are a couple of smaller stages back towards the back wall leading into the Novice Hut. The main stage, you can see a couple of the bar lads are actually assisting someone setting up a little bit of a performance, getting ready for the evening. There's some nice cloth, it's colored, it's kind of this nice goldish with it kind of blending into an orange. It's embroidered. It's very festive looking, and it seems to be hung on a bit of a backdrop on that stage. And you can see there is the musician who's going to be performing appears to be up there. You see this young lady. She's generally like bent over as she's prepping some things, but you can see she's in this nice green dress. It goes down to her ankles, a small figure, and you can see purple hair that is pulled up and pinned very nicely, kind of up into the side as she is prepping for an evening performance. So you would have seen that on your way through. Otherwise, you guys exit the pike. As the doors are closing behind you, kind of shuts off a tremendous amount of sound. There's only the small, warbling, distant sounds of the activity in there. And once you get into these halls in the Novice Hut, it definitely quiets a significant amount. There's some sound as you pass by the mess hall, but even the rooms that generally would have somebody behind there. The garden over to the side you can see is also empty. Seems like people are wherever they're gonna be for the afternoon. I believe it's still like mid-afternoon.
Well, it's been at least 8 hours since we were at Undra.
Yeah. But you know,
as we're walking through the halls, does Detect Evil and Good pick up anything?
Does not appear to, no.
Excellent.
Just have to make sure. Where's my timer?
So it's also not picking up anything from Snow.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is not picking up anything from Snow.
Good to know.
So, towards the far end of the Novice Hut, where the walls and the rooms look a little more official, you've been back this way before when you had your test, when you first arrived in Gratimino. But you go down the hall and find the hall in the door for the command offices. It is closed at the moment. As you guys approach it, please give me a perception check.
Let's go.
Let's go.
14.
I got 14 as well.
22.
5.
For the ladies and for Beau, it's easy enough as you're approaching to hear some voices already inside, multiple voices inside. Ste'yn, you can pick out that it is 3 distinct voices. You can hear the voices of Vaughn, who you had hoped to find. You also hear the voices of of 2 of the other novice emissaries. You can hear Bria Han, and you can hear, even with her very low tone, very monotone, you can hear, well, I guess you haven't heard her yet, have you?
We were in a wagon together.
Oh yeah, she was there. That's right. She was in
Yeah.
the room with you guys.
Floaty lady?
You can hear
She was in the room where it happened.
Rochelle Glimmer as well. So you can hear their voices as you approach.
As we get close to the door, does Detect Evil and Good pick up anything?
It does not. What would you like to do?
Try to listen at the door. See what they're talking about before we knock.
Sure.
Ste'yn will put up a hand to tell the others to be quiet, and then listen at the door.
Okay, give me another perception check.
We're gonna do some guidance.
I got an 8.
Are you all listening at the door?
I mean, Beau would at least be listening at the door.
Viola wouldn't be. As soon as she was told to be quiet, she froze, so her armor wouldn't make any noise.
mid-stride.
Yes, she did it again.
As Beau starts going ahead, he's just gonna toot directly to Viola. Viola, you're not exactly being the best stealth now that you could be. Maybe you just hold up a tiny bit.
She just freezes mid-stance.
All right.
Grabs it.
To Viola, he's gonna be like, Viola, you can move again. I don't know if you noticed, but the situation seems to have changed.
Got it.
Viola's just been like shaking.
Like, can I? She was like one foot in the air. She was mid-step, and it's just like
like a bead of sweat. Just like,
I got a 29 on that perception check.
Of course you did, my dear. Sorry, what did you get, Beau?
8. He just hears her breathing over him.
You're too busy focused on like, is Viola going to fall over as like her foot is like just a couple inches off the ground and she's frozen, and you're just so certain she's gonna fall over. It's a little bit distracting to try and make out what they're saying. Ste'yn, you can hear rather clearly, as they don't appear to really be trying to necessarily hide the conversation. There's definitely it sounds like there's really only the 3 of them in the room.
Also, quick note, we do still have the mind link up because we had that for 5 hours back at Seekers.
Oh, lovely. You can hear a conversation. You hear Vaughn saying something. Bria had laughed over something. You can hear Vaughn gently kind of reprimanding her about acting, just too childish. They have things to plan. And it sounds like they are focused on a conversation about the novices, about upcoming plans for you guys to assist with the citizen residents in preparation for the Harvest Lamp Festival. You hear him say, "The captain will be back. I hope she'll be back in time to talk to the novices tomorrow. And if she isn't, then we need to have these notes prepared. So please just pay attention." And you hear Bria laugh again. "Oh no, it's fine. Just everyone needs a break. In fact, she's lucky. She's lucky she got such a long break. Could use another break. We've been here for a straight 6 months. You'd think we'd get a little break in between." And you hear Rochelle's voice chiming in as much as her voice can chime. "Bria, didn't you just take a break not 3 months ago? You were being a guest of honor, were you not?" You hear Bria kind of scoff. That's all politics. No one cares about that. Ooh, the raining. Ooh, it's so fancy. It was boring. I was basically paid to be there. Paid spokesman, and they didn't care. And if I'm getting paid, that basically means it was work, right? Yeah, it was basically work." Vaughn kind of snaps at the both of them. "We have work to do. Did you forget? You don't need a break, and the captain didn't need that kind of break. Now let's get back to work." And then they seem to go back to these discussions about whatever it is the novices will be doing to help prepare for the Harvest Lamps Festival.
Ste'yn will relay synopsis of that to Beau via the mind link, so he can send it to the others via mind link if he wants.
It's a lot of details to do multiple times. That all sounds very boring.
It was mostly very boring, but...
Alright, I say, let's just walk in. Give them some excitement.
To knock on the door.
She does knock on the door?
Ste'yn knocks on the door.
Okay. As soon as you knock, the voices go quiet for a moment, and then you hear Bria laugh. "Come in, please."
Beau open the door.
And you walk in. It's a very simple office space. There's a large desk where Vaughn is sitting on the far side of the desk. There's a couple of chairs pulled up. Bria is sitting on her chair backwards. Rochelle is sitting on her chair, and her feet are dangling rather high off of it as she is...
They couldn't get her a chair her size?
Her feet are just kind of gently swinging from the chair, the top. They look at you, and Bria immediately jumps up. "Oh, well, wouldn't you know? Sounds like you've got work to do, Vaughn." And she motions for Rochelle and towards the door, and she looks at you four. Welcome back. We won't keep you for sure, unless you were. No, please. You're here for business, right?
Do you not do business?
But how did you know that meant we wanted to speak with Vaughn?
Because Vaughn is the one on duty today. And she does this little dance of excitement.
If you're not on duty, why are you in here?
Because this one wants to talk about work and we're not even supposed to be working.
Buckle down. Ignore it.
You know, I should. It's not a bad idea. But it's not just for him. I suppose we have a loyalty we have to uphold. No, of course I would do it for him. It's fine. She looks before you. Did you need us?
No, they're looking for
so.
Vaughn. They want to talk to Vaughn.
And both Rochelle and Bria look towards Vaughn. Bria looks much more excited. Rochelle's face continues to be very flat, but there is a little smile on her face as she nods at him and nods at the four of you. If you do need anything, please, you're welcome to ask. And she begins to seemingly float as her dress and cloak are brushing against the floor. It's very floaty motion out, very different than Bria's distinct, bouncy demeanor as the two ladies leave the room and close the door behind them. Vaughn just looks at the door, shaking his head.
They're a lively bunch.
Aren't they? How can I help you for?
We just had a few questions. We went and did a debrief with Nora like you asked us to.
Good.
And had a few questions for you that sort of came up as a result of that.
All
Snow
right.
sits down and props his feet up on the desk.
He looks at your feet. Would you mind not doing that?
They're clean. He uses prestidigitation.
It's just manners.
Snow will slowly drag his feet off of the desk and onto the floor.
No,
But he's still sitting like really leaned back.
like he's
Very
ready to do it
casual.
again.
Yep.
He looks from Snow to the rest of you. Actually, I'm glad you're here. Before you ask your questions, and I'm happy to answer whatever questions, that's my job. I did want to say something. He pauses a moment, then looks back at you guys, kind of straightens his shoulders. It was brought to my attention that I perhaps spoke slightly out of turn when we were debriefing before, potentially in other scenarios, and I wanted to apologize for that. I am a novice emissary, and you should be able to come to any of the four of us or your captain and be heard with any concerns you have. So I did not want to create an atmosphere that you felt you couldn't do that. So
You mean like where you yell at us again?
I am not going to raise my voice if it's not called for.
Who brought it to your attention?
My fellow emissaries seemed to agree with the captain's insight. She's very insightful. And
Move on, got in trouble.
You seem very comfortable with apologizing.
thank you. Anyway, I am sorry for my tone at that time.
It seemed to be out of a great care and respect for Captain Nora, and we can understand that, though it does make us slightly curious as to why you have such a...
Crush.
What?
Does Viola say that?
What?
No!
No,
He
let
shakes
him,
his head.
Let him finish.
Let her cook. Let him cook. He shakes his head as if that's a very childish thing and looks back at Ste'yn, who was talking.
So wait, are you denying it or not?
Are you asking me seriously?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
I have only the utmost respect for our captain.
That
And it
wasn't
is an entirely professional relationship that she and I have.
Insight check.
I love this.
Go ahead and roll.
Can I
You
insight
should do
as
this with every
well?
NPC.
If anyone would like to insight, you are welcome to insight.
You know what? Let's go.
I only rolled
Ooh,
an
I got
8.
it. I got a dirty 20.
Yes.
29.
Oh my gosh. At least someone can find the answers that Viola is searching for.
And then mind link it later. So a dirty 20, and a 29.
And an 8.
And yes, and that.
Just in
I'm
case.
sure that will give me a lot of information.
You're convinced.
Yeah, okay, maybe it's not that. Yeah, Viola, you're just like so, just so caught up. It's more like a fun fiction for you than it is actually trying to like discern his thoughts, and you've already got your answer. So
Yeah.
who cares what he actually thinks?
That tracks. That tracks.
Beau and Ste'yn, there's an obvious discomfort. Beau, you'd probably figure that he definitely has a past relationship, whether like professional or whatever, with the captain, which she's already confirmed at the very least, like he knows her husband. But it does make him, the line of questioning is not comfortable. You get that same sense too, Ste'yn, but maybe leaning slightly in a less, just ever so slightly, in a less professional manner. But he's not giving that away as far as what he's saying to you, for sure. He is certainly trying to keep a professional demeanor with you for.
You said we could ask anything, so I just went for it. Carry on, anyways.
She likes to do that.
I am welcome and open to your questions. Whatever makes you feel comfortable here as you are going through your novice training. Whatever.
How long have you known Nora?
Is this actually what the questioning is? What you guys came here to ask?
We have some
Didn't I
other
just
ones
ask
too.
a question?
But
That is a question.
You
Yes,
did say you can ask anything.
Yes, but I would request you keep
So how
this
long have you known Nora?
professional.
this
Your captain. The least you could do is call her captain, as she is your captain.
And the answer would be...
I've known Captain Nora. He stresses the word captain. For at least a year. We've built up a rapport.
How long have you known her husband?
Captain Elikin? We've been friends for years. Decades.
So before you started working here,
Yes.
did you start here as an emissary?
Yes.
What were you before?
I was doing mostly Peace Watch work. He did a lot of that beforehand as well. But
Here
higher
at
scale.
Gratimino or somewhere else?
Elsewhere. Did you have anything else that wasn't a professional matter that you wanted to ask about?
What's your favorite color?
Green. You don't get a lot of it where I'm from. It's a nice color.
What shade?
Anything else?
Where are you from?
Hunter Green. I am from Sanaa.
Need to go there.
Where in Sanaa are you from?
Are you familiar with it? With the kingdom? I could name a city. I doubt you'd know.
I mean, potentially. you never know.
Bias.
He tells you that he is from a town that's in like the outskirts of Ariditha, which is eastern. Catherine turns to the map, which is eastern, like right along the border of Sanaa. In the
Do we know
outskirts
this
of that.
town or do we have to roll to know this town?
You can roll to know it.
Okay, so we do have to roll to know.
Yes.
Is it
Give me an
history?
intelligence history check. Sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I guess it's not as bad as I initially
that's-
thought. It's an 11.
18?
19.
we got a whole
Lovely.
2.
Yeah, Viola, you're familiar. You've heard of that city, certainly that region, the county. One of the larger ones that's in Sanaa. Along it definitely gets a lot of its benefit from the Curis Sea. So a lot of the trade that goes through there, when it makes it, they benefit from that a lot. It's a very nice area, a little bit higher status in that area. Some notable noblemen. And you would know this as well, Snow. You maybe also know some stories, a lot of tales that pass through that area. But if you have not been there yourself, you've spoken to the right people who have passed through that area. So yeah, he tells you that.
Ste'yn just shakes her head a little bit. I did have a question about what happened to Kalane's sword. I believe you were the last one seen in possession of it when it was found back in fighting those midnight chickens, gross creatures.
Midnight beasts. He shakes his head. Looks like he wants to spit. He looks at you four and he thinks about it. He's trying to go through and recollect what happened. I don't know what happened to it.
As he's thinking about it, I'm gonna see what he's thinking about and use a charge of my medallion.
So you start using your medallion. You can see all of those. You see the images as he's thinking of them. Those brief moments of like, there's the chickens and there's you guys and there's Snow about to die. And these are flashing through his head. You see the sword for a moment, but it's very blurry as he's trying to remember. You're getting these flashes of images.
So you don't know what happened to it?
I must have dropped it at some point. That's not something I'd say proudly.
That is a pity. I think it could have been important.
You're just having a very
You know where she got
unproud day, aren't you?
Seems
Do you know where
so.
she got it?
Kalane?
Yes.
No, I don't know anything else about it. I just imagined you were curious about it because you all have a weapon, especially if you're going to go out of the city.
Did he
Why
think
the
anything
sword?
otherwise?
No, you see him thinking about, again, you can kind of see Kalane in his thoughts. It's also kind of blurry as he just doesn't really know her well. He even, again, just can't even fully make out what the sword looks like.
All right, using the tail end of detect thought, Snow's going to ask him, have you ever heard in your dealings with the Doc, have you ever heard of someone referred to as the Doctor? And he is reading his thoughts on the matter. And then, well, first tell me what he thinks.
His thoughts are now bouncing around. You can see various acolytes at Saker's Keep. You can see others that are at little tents. You kind of recognize vague background as different parts of Grati Minot. Some other thoughts go to places that don't look like what you know the city to look like. Bounces around that a little bit before the magic starts to fade.
Immediately, he just looks for the thoughts and whether or not there's any immediate recollection, any immediate knowledge of the Doctor whose journal that Snow has read. But he doesn't actually wait for Vaughn to answer. As soon as he reads that in his mind, Snow says, sorry, you must have misheard. I was just asking if there's a specific reason for Hunter Green as opposed to, say, Forest Green. And he uses Gift of Gab to make Vaughn not remember that question at all. When you cast a spell, you skillfully reshape the memories of listeners in your immediate area so that each creature of your choice within 5 feet of you forgets everything you said within the last 6 seconds. Those creatures will remember that you actually said the words you speak as the verbal component of the spell. He'll let the others remember that he asked it, though.
And Vaughn, thinking that you've just decided to jump back to your foolish questions, it seems, kind of raises an eyebrow again. He doesn't look amused, but he's also not yelling, and he's not raising his voice, and he just leans back in his chair, not lazily, but he leans back a little bit. The names just stand out to me better. Hunter, like a fighter, like a warrior, versus Forest, which, well, when you travel,
a lover of violence. I understand.
We just don't have a lot of forests near me. But sometimes you have to prove yourself with a little violence. Was there anything else you needed?
I guess not.
Why did you ask about the sword again?
I was hoping to be able to look at it in person. I saw a flash of it in a dream and wanted a closer look.
A dream?
She has a lot of weird
Yes.
dreams.
I do. It's kind of a thing my goddess likes to do.
I see. Well, I wouldn't take it too personally. Sometimes the gods don't have another means of having us hear them. Sometimes we're just too preoccupied in our own business in the day.
You're
What
familiar with
god are
that?
you interested in?
Some Lottle is done very well by me.
Do you have like a piece of jewelry or a pendant or something for her?
Show me the bling.
He looks at you, Viola. He said, "Do you mean my holy symbol?" And he does, from under his armor and his clothing, he pulls out a medallion on a cord. One that Snow is a little familiar with. He's seen it before.
Viola looks at it closely and tries to figure out if it's weird or not.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Is it weird or not?
No.
She just leans in.
Just start staring.
Is it weird or is it just ugly?
Viola's just like, the gods aren't really my thing, and she'll just like absentmindedly like lean in as close as she can get before Vaughn acts weirded out. I just like I've been learning a lot about it, and Ste'yn's all about her goddess situation, and we've had some friends recently that are into the gods and or goddesses, and found out that holy symbols were even a thing recently, and so I've just been really interested in the matter. As you can tell, I like bling myself, so I always like to check out other people's bling.
No
The way you
pats her
carry-
shoulder.
The way you carry yourself does mean a lot. And I see you carry yourself with a refinement that should be respected and noted.
Oh, thanks.
You are looking at his holy symbol.
But it's
what
going
I'm
to
looking
mind link to
for.
Viola after he says that.
I feel like that's the last thing you want people thinking, considering your situation, Viola.
Oh, you worry about yourself. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself.
Is Vaughn acting super weirded out that she's getting so close to look at it?
You can give me an insight check at disadvantage because you're also looking at the medallion very closely.
Oh, that's a nat one.
Uh-huh.
The Viola dice
Who
have not been
cares?
as
Look at that.
kind tonight.
Look at that holy symbol.
He's holding it. Yeah, he's holding it, and you've been staring at it, and you don't realize as it appears as if it's like starts going back and forth, and you're just kind of mesmerized at it going back and forth and
He's
back
hypnotizing her.
and forth. You guys just see him holding it, looking down at her with a very raised eyebrow, almost concerned at how close she's getting.
How
and
annoyed
he's
is
starting
he
to
getting?
Sit back. He looks uncomfortable with how close she's getting, and he is sitting back.
Good.
But you see, it looks like it's carved from stone. A very light, kind of beigeish stone. Has a few striations going through it. And there is a symbol in the center of it also carved.
Does Viola think it looks similar to the medallions Ziva's and Jeremy's that she's seen previously? I don't know that she's taken a super close look at them. I know she's seen Ziva's, so I guess she's looking to see if it's similar to Ziva's.
So, Viola, what you were able to notice with your investigation prior to your insight check and getting dizzy and not realizing you're like zoning out, it does not look the same as the medallions that you found that Jeremy was holding. It doesn't look the same as the one on Ziva's pendant. Those are both these basically iron discs, essentially, these thick iron discs. This one is it's a completed, well, it is also like a disc. It's round, but it is carved. It's a little bit less clean around the edges. The symbol you see, it's these 4 diamonds, 2 on either side, and in the center, 2 overlapping, one over the other, and kind of a wave, these 2 wave lines going, kind of weaving in and out of them of gold. It gives you very much this sense of like moving sand.
She'll, like, after she's satisfied or whatever, she'll, like, stand up and, like, shake her head and then just, like, walk away, not say anything else.
Okay. Vaughn looks at the others. Is she all right?
She does this. She's trying very hard to learn about the gods and goddesses and doesn't always understand the concept of personal space when it comes to that.
Viola
She
will
clings
also
to you like
mind link
glue.
the Beau
Mhm.
and say,
I think Vaughn was just trying to hypnotize me. That's why I was so dizzy and I was like shaking my head around. I think he was trying to hypnotize me.
He's such a mastermind.
Does it look like to Snow that Vaughn has clocked Ziva's bracelet that he's wearing?
Give me an insight check.
while that's happening, Viola will suddenly remember that she was going to ask a question and say, oh, hey, Vaughn, do you happen to know where Komugal would be?
Probably in the Raleigh district. He's a ward, after all, a warden. So I don't track his comings and goings, but I'd imagine he'd be out there.
Beau's gonna.
Why?
Well, I don't know. We were talking about Kalain and it made Komugal pop up and we just don't know much about him. And so I figured I'd ask. But I mean, it's surprising that you don't have to be very smart to become a warden.
What?
I just feel like Komugal's not very smart. He's kind of rude too.
She has a point.
Well, there is a difference in one's intelligence and one's wisdom. Perhaps he doesn't interact well with everyone he meets, and I think
So you
the
agree with
captain-
me?
that he can have a temper, yes. I think perhaps the captain had hoped in her assignments that brief interaction perhaps might allow for amendment, as I think there was some tension with two of you, but that didn't seem to go as planned in her total outlook. But he is not dumb. He's just potentially foolish.
I didn't say he was dumb. I said he wasn't very smart.
I
Those are
said
two
he was
different
dumb.
things. You're putting words in my mouth.
My
I
apologies.
still
All
think
worked
he's
out.
dumb.
I still think you're incorrect. There's a lot you have to learn in order to become a warden. At least a lot you'd have to prove. So
There's
I
a
suppose
difference between
technically,
learning and proving.
yes, as I would say, yes. Perhaps you could become a warden and not necessarily be the brightest, but I do think it would affect the continued course you might take, and we would utilize your skills as necessary.
It's a very diplomatic answer.
Thank you. Not every novice makes that easy.
No rolled for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I had a
rolled
thought, but I want to.
22
I want.
insight.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't appear to notice that you are wearing Ziva's bracelet.
Beau's going to mind link to stay.
Ste'yn, do you remember those names that, Sirs mentioned? Or somebody mentioned? Names that were on that mission? Yeah.
If you give me just a second, I will remember them.
I just have to think really hard.
That's the thing, really hard for a
Brain
second.
blast.
Cast guidance on yourself. Ah, yes. Now I remember.
You can have inspiration for the brain blast. I laughed.
Same old minds link back.
Yeah,
So yes, like we learned at, I think it was the
yeah.
captain's command actually. It was Gerard and Raya who
Yeah.
were with Ziva.
I think it was Oriah.
Maybe Vaughn knows where they are. We can ask about them.
We could.
Alright, I promise we don't have too many more questions. We're just trying to get some things
No, please.
cleared up
I
and
could,
have a better understanding and appreciation for how things work here.
I could use a little bit of a break. We've been just preparing for some upcoming events for you all. So
Yeah, so you said we could. Kamugal's probably in the Raleigh district. We were trying to find someone else we've encountered before, Ziva, and she wasn't at the captain's command where we thought she might be. But we did learn she had recently gone on mission with a couple of her other wardens guards, Gerard and Oriah. Yes, sorry, I still get the ranks confused. I'm supposed to actually get my hands on a handbook later tonight. That will be lovely.
you don't have one?
It went missing somehow, and
Do you have extra copies?
He immediately reaches into a drawer below him, pulls one out. It's rolled up and tied. Hands one to Ste'yn.
Viola will hold her hand out as well. Pretty please.
Oh. Did you not receive them? And he reaches for a second one.
We received them. I think hers got waterlogged on a mission, and mine went missing on a mission as well, I think. So they've just met.
Misplace their things a lot. It's fine.
You guys don't have yours either.
Mine
Yeah.
was ruined.
Mine I threw away at Saker's Keep.
Okay. Snow,
But-
did you need another one?
No, I already looked through it.
Okay.
But would you
ignorance is
happen?
not a reason.
Would you happen to know where we might be able to find the other guards, Gerard and Araya? Are you familiar with them at all?
He pauses a moment, brow kind of furrowed, potentially in thought, looks back at you. There are only so many guards. Some of them are rather stand out. Those names being some of them. They would also have barracks in the Raleigh district if they're there. If guards have a series of assignments different than wardens or novices would, so it's likely they wouldn't be at the city as often as, say, you would. Although, it sounds like the four of you have been traveling a decent amount.
We just do what we're told to do, and try to do it to the best of our ability.
I understand. Well, what we're hoping for after tomorrow is to bring some normalcy, so to speak, to your schedules. To have an opportunity for you to be here in the city, doing as you were intended to be doing, to a degree. With a little bit of lightheartedness was the goal. So hopefully you won't be going too far anytime soon. Not till after the festival, at least.
When he
I
says
know-
that, Snow is just like openly grimacing.
Yeah, Beau's rolling his eyes a little bit.
I'm sure it will be great for you four.
I'm sure. And I know I've been asking a lot of where different people might be, but we did just come from Seika's. I've been hoping to speak to Goro, head celebrant Goro, and he wasn't there. Do you know when he might be back or where he went?
I don't know where he's gone, if he's not there. He has his own business to attend to, and he's not a guardian resident. He's a citizen resident, so his comings and goings are not my jurisdiction anyway.
Right.
Not that I guess they would be. Well, anyway.
Viola's gonna mind link to Beau.
Oh, ask
Yeah.
Ste'yn if she forgot, because whoever that guy was, I don't remember his name. I don't even know if I've been told. No, yeah, I've been told his name. That's Yonai. Ask Ste'yn if she forgot that he told us that Goro was helping take that prisoner guy to Zaylee.
Right. Ste'yn, Viola would like you to know that Goro is taking the prisoner somewhere, I guess.
Trying to corroborate information is not a bad thing.
I just told her I would tell you.
Pass it along.
The best game of broken telephone.
Gonna go back to...
She doesn't care, Viola.
You would never say that, Beau. You're lying.
Insight check.
Who against Ste'yn?
Beau. Not actually though. Viola
Regardless,
does
good
give
luck.
him a look. She just like looks at him.
Vaughn is just waiting for someone to talk.
All three of them suddenly
Oh,
get
yeah.
silent.
Glaring at each
They
other.
get quiet and you just see.
Well, thank you very much for all of your assistance and for answering the many questions that we threw your way. Is there anything you need from us?
Why would you ask him that? I don't want to help him.
It's called building a
No.
bridge so we can manipulate him later.
Snow stands up and just starts walking to the door.
Snow heads out the door. Vaughn is very tight-lipped. I was taught, and he doesn't look at you, he just says, I was taught by my mother that if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I am just going to ask that you behave and listen to your captain and your emissaries. Please.
Right. We can do that.
Thank you.
You hear
very
Snow
much.
giggling as he walks out the door.
Well, thank you for answering questions, Vaughn. You can't say that we didn't make your day more interesting, but
I
we'll
cannot.
see you later. Have a wonderful day.
Good job not yelling.
Thank you. I'll make sure to give the captain your glowing support.
Was it really glowing though?
Well, it's
All right.
better than what I hear he says.
That
What
is
do you
true.
hear?
Touche.
Again, I was told if you have nothing nice to say.
Good.
Uh-huh. Thank you for being very entertaining. And if you see Bria or if you see Emissary Bria or Rochelle, if you could send them back our way. My way.
No, they have the day off. They're not working. Leave them be.
We have a lot to accomplish here.
And they have a lot of relaxing to accomplish. We give people breaks for a reason, Vaughn. Then they don't get uptight.
And thank you. Let's go.
Uh-huh. And you guys make your way out of the office.
Dinner time yet?
I don't think so. I think it's about 4.
I'm more than happy to fast forward to dinner, to after dinner, wherever it is you guys needed or wanted to be, unless there was more people you needed to find to ask any questions today.
Dinner?
I suppose so. That was, once again, less than helpful.
Did we really
typical
think
Vaughn.
Vaughn would be all that helpful?
No.
You know, the apology was nice, then he lost all the respect at the end again.
That is true. He tried to hypnotize me. Did you see it with his little pendant?
Did you notice when he was hitting on you?
What? No. Stop
Well,
it.
maybe might have just been flattery to try to make you
It
forget.
was
that he's
all
so
in the
annoying.
eyes, Viola. You gotta look in the eyes.
I am not looking at. No. No. I have eyes for one person and one person only.
Oh, goodness. I do love that our party is
Say,
bonding over a hatred of Vaughn.
Hate someone.
Is there any other leads worth following up on today?
Unless we happen to see either Domo or Kumugul around. I don't think so. I'd still like to find out more of what happened to Colleen, and I think they'd be the ones to tell us. But that's luck of the draw.
I really want to take a closer peek at. I can't remember her name. It sounds like Ziva if the first half is cut off. Rosita!
Rosita?
Rosita?
Yeah! I would also like to take a closer peek at Rosita's jewelry if we do go back to the pike eventually, which I'm sure we will.
I thought she was just gonna say I want to take a closer look at Rosita. I was
You can
thinking,
always-
remember. Look at the eyes.
Doesn't she sell jewelry or something?
Well, she didn't say she was selling it. She said she
makes
kept
it.
giving it away, which I thought was kind of sketchy. She was giving it away to people in hopes that they would stay or something. It was like the novices that were leaving.
Oh, we should have asked Vaughn about that.
They've lost a lot of people lately.
Well, we haven't gone too far from him.
Honestly, that doesn't surprise me because it sounds like most people are not having as exciting of a time as we are here.
That's
Why?
true.
What are other
Fighting
people
time.
doing?
Cynthia's been cleaning the floors and she wasn't allowed to use magic. She said the other
So
day she
they're
was planting
making
flowers
up work.
too.
So they don't even have work for you to do. They're just making stuff up. See, this is why you shouldn't have. I don't know. Whatever this is.
I
A
mean,
city?
in a sense, you could say it's making
See, that was
discipline,
the
but it's
first
also
thing I
inefficient.
thought of, and then I was like, well, no.
I thought you'd appreciate the flower planting, Snow.
Oh yeah, no. It was the cleaning with specifically not using magic when she could just use magic, and it would be a lot faster and more efficient, and probably a better job.
To be honest, though, with Cynthia, it could have been that she was mean to the wrong person or a little bit rude to the wrong person, and that we're just getting back at her.
I mean, that's not
Actions
how
do
you
have consequences.
do this.
If she was cleverer, she would just do it anyway.
I mean, she
But
might
that
have.
would just lead to worse consequences if you got caught.
That's
Only
why I
if you
said
get caught,
clever.
I don't know. She seems to think she's very smart. So, Beau, you should have a conversation with her sometime. I think you guys
I
would
would
get along
love
grand.
to.
You
I'll
should
tell her
come with
you've
your
been
nail
keeping
painting
an eye
later.
out for her.
She was very colorful. I remember that from the test. She was very colorful. I like that. There
I
needs
think
to be
pink
more
and
color.
orange would go well together.
Not really. They might clash a bit, actually.
If you're talking romantically, she's a bit young.
I don't know how old she is.
She's a human. She's a bit young.
How old are you again?
172 years old.
172 years old?
Yes.
For some reason, I was thinking you were like 400 and something. Not sure why.
That explains why you're so grumpy. You've been on this earth for so long.
Thanks for your understanding.
I aim to please, and she'll like do a big flourish and bow.
While we're at dinner, Snow would like to try to take Ste'yn's handbook.
So help me put context here. Were you guys having this conversation on your way to dinner?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were you guys going for dinner? Because I'd be more than happy to let that try and happen.
Viola was
We're up.
going to suggest the free place so we don't keep paying for dinner when we can eat for free.
Well, in theory, we'll get paid eventually.
Yeah, like
but then
tomorrow
just
or
make it
something,
free
or
the
the
money
next
gets
day?
replaced.
Noah's gotten plenty of free stuff here, so he's not sure what you're talking about. You just have to be charming.
Or lie and say it's your birthday.
So you guys, where did you guys decide to then?
I don't think we made a decision between free or spending.
Look, you're
Viola
welcome to duke it
suggested
out.
the free.
Doesn't matter to me.
How about this? If what's her face, the little girl, is working, we'll get the free
Here?
stuff. What?
Lear?
Yes, that one. She was good at
That's good to
cooking.
me. I haven't
If she's
seen her
not
in forever.
working, let's just pay for decent food.
Okay, as long as you're paying. Viola will start heading towards the place where the free food is.
Not what I said.
It's okay, Beau. I know what you meant. I'm good at reading between the lines.
Beau, high or low?
I'm low. I think I've only gotten this correct once.
Okay. You guys make your way to the mess hall, looking for your halfling friend. Give me a perception check.
13.
20.
Natural 20.
You peek into the mess hall, and it's not brimming with people, but there are a number of people that are still in there. They are having some early dinner as well. You check back, Beau, you take a peek back in the kitchen area, and you don't see Lear, but you do see one of the assortments of proteins available for food. You do see one of them appears to be a chicken kind of dish that looks familiar, just unplated in the way you had seen it last, but that same type of cooking that you had seen when Lear had made food for you guys before. Actually, you just noticed she's not there. Snow, you recognize though. Snow, you recognize that there is a plated, not like an unplated chicken dish that you recognize was Lear's cooking from before. So you are privy, and Ste'yn can catch on pretty quickly, just sight and smell, that though you don't spot Lear, it looks like she might have been here cooking, and perhaps that was the end of her shift, and then she went about her business. So the food might be hers. She's just not here.
Food looks and smells like us, so I say we eat.
Works for me.
I'm gonna ask if she's working.
So pretentious.
Do you have a crush on her?
No.
You're asking around if anyone's seen her?
It's just,
Or she's
I mean,
here?
is there like a counter that somebody's like behind? Like, is there anybody that seems to be on?
Yeah. It looks like there's someone behind where the food is displayed and kind of helping people take some, very cafeteria style.
Hello. Is Lear making food today? Now.
And you're looking at a human, rather plain looking male, hair kind of Just brushed back, a little messy. He just looks around. Well, no one's cooking anymore. I don't know who was here before.
When does cooking happen?
Before meals, so that it's ready for meals. I guess you haven't had a kitchen shift.
No.
Missing out. Free food. I guess you get free food anyway. Free food while you're making it.
So wait a minute. Are you saying the only option is that chicken plate?
No, you've got chicken here. We've got some beef. We've got a pork. No fish today. A little hard to get the fish. Not exactly coastal, but yeah.
Wait,
no fish today.
How is the beef served? This is me asking.
Sure. The beef is in these very uneven patties, but even though they are uneven, look really nice and thick and like really juicy. You can still see like from each one of them, a little bit of steam coming up. Some of that, just a little bit of that grease on there. Just a little, not too much. A little shine.
I see. So if I wanted steak, this wouldn't be the place.
Not tonight. It's not what they had prepared for tonight.
Right.
Sorry, I also could go for a steak. The wild pike has a mean steak.
Yes. I would turn around and walk away.
Oh, we're not eating for free?
I mean...
He could go get his steak and bring it back here.
Yeah, why don't you do that, Beau?
I wasn't telling you couldn't eat here.
You're not gonna eat dinner with us?
I didn't say that either.
There and then bring it back here. They aren't exclusive.
Okay, well, Viola will grab a plate and start getting some food.
Beau is gonna go order the exact thing that I had for lunch.
Bloody steak.
Oh, and she's keeping an eye out for baby carrots and tarts.
Viola, give me an investigation check. Beau, you head back to the wild pike for the steak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even in that short period of time that you were, relatively short period of time, that you were talking to Vaughn and then talking amongst yourselves, the pike has started to fill up. There are quite a few people gathering in here now. The music isn't quite started playing yet, but you can see that the performer is up on the stage. She seems to be sitting and talking to someone quickly who's on the other side of the stage. You can't quite see who she's talking to from just the doors. And as you head up towards the bar table or trying to track someone down, you can see the barmaids and bar lads as they are dressed differently, but they are all zooming around. Just table to bar area to kitchen to table, zooming.
Okay, he's gonna go to the counter while he's going there. He's gonna do the same thing he did earlier and make his bandana smell like lavender and vanilla. And then he's gonna go up and... Is it Rosita behind the counter still?
You don't see Rosita behind the counter.
Okay, it's just...
You don't see anyone immediately behind the counter.
Then
you see... There's no bell, but you do see one of the bar lads comes back out, and he seems to be attending to the people at the countertop. He's again bouncing person to person to person to person.
Has he noticed Beau at all?
He just noticed you. With just like 2 more drinks on his tray, he comes back over to you, Beau. Yeah, how can I help you? Welcome.
Yes. Hi, I'd like a rare steak.
Menu tonight. We don't have steaks left, but we've got some good stew. Can I interest you?
Not entirely. What else do you have?
Well, seems like they're a little light tonight on the variety of fare, but we've got the stew, and there's a really nice, how do you explain it? There's this really good, like, rabbit dish, just cooked to perfection. The meat is so tender with a side, this medley of veggies. So good.
Do you have anything that's like steak adjacent?
He like half joking says, the stew meat before it's cooked, I guess.
That would do.
But he's like,
just put it in the broth.
What?
Hmm?
Huh?
I'm joking.
That's funny. You're funny. That's a good one. Did you want some stew?
No, thank you. Can I just have some drinks?
Yeah, what do you need?
What are some cheap options?
Mead, ale, standard fare, wines, some nice wines. We've got some top shelf stuff. Although the bottle of my favorite's already missing, and that's unfortunate. I can't believe we went through
How
it
much
that
is it for
quickly.
just a bottle? So that way I could just take that and some cups.
That'll range, anywhere from 5 to 25 silver.
All right, well, what's the cheapest one? 5?
Yeah.
All right, can I have that in 4 cups?
Sure. Give me a minute. And he finishes doling out the last remaining drinks on his tray, and then he goes to the back again. Viola, how did you do on your roll?
10.
You spot normal carrots, and they're steamed. They smell really good.
Is that guy still around that Beau was talking to?
Yeah, he's just in the back helping people.
Oh, so she'd just kind of call out to him and be like, I have a request. If it wouldn't be too hard, would I be able to get a bag of the carrots before they're cooked? If you have any baby carrots, like the small tiny ones, that would be preferred.
You want me to sort through the carrots and find little ones?
Well, if you bring them out, I can sort through them. I don't mind, but yeah, essentially.
That sounds gross. To let
I'll wash
someone
my
just start
hands.
going through. Give me a persuasion check.
19!
He looks at you for a moment. Okay. And he brings you to the back. There's a pitcher with water, and you're welcome to wash your hands and some good lard soap and clean up. And then he shows you where they store the different vegetables in this side room that's very cold and crisp. And they have these veggies that are just staying nice and fresh in there. He kind of hurries you along so you're not staying in the cold room for very long, and lets you stay in the back and sort through carrots.
So while they're doing that, Snow is trying to see if he can snatch Ste'yn's handbook. While it's just the two of them.
Sure.
Just the two of us.
So Beau left to the Wild Pike. Viola went to go get food and go
carrots.
sort carrots. What are you guys doing?
Stealing.
Ste'yn was gonna start fixing a plate of food.
Yeah.
She's a little
I assume
confused
we
about why
both
people
just get
left.
plates of food and
but-
we
Yeah.
sit down.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
While
Give me
we're
a
sitting down,
Sleight of hand check.
what's your passive perception? What do I have to beat for this?
20.
Funny.
It's a 20.
That is a 20. I have a +5.
Assuredly beats it.
It's a dirty 20.
Just the way we live. How do you go about taking this handbook once again?
Where did she
She
put it?
just-
I assume in her backpack.
Yeah, probably one of the outer pockets of it. She wouldn't have worried too much about keeping it secure because she probably planned to take it out and read it at dinner. So just poking out one of the pockets of her bag.
When they go to sit down then, and they're, they've taken their backpacks off and everything, he will make a show of just moving them over a little bit. And as he's doing that, he just slides her handbook from her backpack into his backpack.
Beautiful. Yeah, you sure do swipe that handbook. You two sit to dinner. Poor Ste'yn has once again misplaced her handbook, so I suppose she won't be reading that during dinner. Viola, what do I want to make you roll? Something like a survival check? I don't
Survival?
know.
What's happening with these carrots?
Listen,
Nature
you have to know
Carrots
which is the
revenge.
right... Yeah, I like nature checks. That's good. Let's do that one.
For nature, that is a 21.
Yeah,
I am
you
sorting these carrots like it's nobody's business.
you go through and you end up with a big sack of these just smaller carrots. And the guy's looking at you and he's like, were you just told to grab those? Were you paying, donating
Well,
for those?
So
or-
here's the thing. I have a horse down in the stables, Buttercup. She's very dear to me, and these carrots are her favorite. And so I wanted to be able to sort some out for her. Would it be possible for me to leave the larger bag in here and come back and get them if I need them?
He just kind of looks back and forth, a little confused, and then just shrugs. Sure, I don't care. I was just curious.
That is wonderful. Thank you. She'll give him a hug. And then she's going to take a smaller bag and like put it in her bag to take to Buttercup later. Did she find any tarts for Saz?
Not from here. There's like a little, the kind of lame boxed desserts here. The little mini 2-bite boxed kind of desserts. I think you'd mentioned, either you or he mentioned the wild pike had the little tarts.
Okay. Viola will mind link over to Beau.
Hey, Beau, could you pick up a couple tarts for Saz and I will pay you back?
Why?
Because I told him I'd bring him a tart. If you want me to get them myself later, that's fine, but I just figured I'd ask once you were already over there.
Is the person still standing in front of Beau?
He hasn't come back yet. It takes like a solid 10 minutes, and then he comes back. He's doles out on some more dishes. He does not have a bottle in his hand. He goes out into the pike, going to the tables, comes back around. It's another 10 minutes.
Wait,
Finally
another 10
comes
minutes
back.
on top of that 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Because Beau's not going to be
It's
staying
busy
there
tonight.
that long.
Oh, it's busy that night.
I mean, when he comes back around, Beau would stop him and be like, "Can I have the bottle?"
Yeah, sorry. Busy night, he says, and then he scoots back into the kitchen. 3 minutes. Comes back out, has another tray, but he does have a bottle under his arm, the neck pointed up and out. He drops the bottle, not drops it or slams it, but he actually very tactfully places it with this very deft movement in front of you, kind of holds his hand out. It's 5 silver.
Okay, he pays him.
Thanks so much. And then he goes to finish delivering some drinks.
Okay, Beau does not want to wait for the amount of time it would take to get tarts. Then,
That's totally fair. Do you go back to the others then?
yeah.
Okay.
On his way
And
back,
even
he'll
as
just
you-
tell her,
It's too busy. I'm not waiting that long.
Okay, I'll go over later before I go down to the stables. Thank you for thinking
Yeah.
about it, though.
As you are leaving, there are a few of the barmaids who pass you by. They do look very busy, but they do take a moment to just kind of do a quick wave, as if it's very trained in them to notice when someone is coming and going. And then you head out. The others are back in the mess hall. You guys have your dinner, I imagine.
"All right,
People are-
they didn't give me any cups, so we either need to get cups here or we're going to share this bottle."
Viola will
cups.
look around and see if she can see cups.
fine.
If she
Here's
does, she'll go
cups.
grab cups.
4 simple, basic cups.
What time is it now?
Let's say, as you guys are enjoying your dinner
It'd be at
and
least 4:30
some
or 5.
drinks. Yeah, let's move time along. Yeah, 4:35. As you guys are having dinner, 6, an hour to just relax. A short rest, you might say. Not that you need one.
Oh, I could use one.
I'll
Could
go
use
for
one.
it. Go for it.
I might as well get a short rest and do a little bit more hit die because I'm still slightly injured.
Back up to
You're on
max.
top.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Same.
So, what are we doing tonight?
What?
Well, Ste'yn and I are gonna go hang out with the girls for a little bit. I also want to go back down to visit Buttercup and give Saz a tart. I'm gonna have to stop by the.
Well, that was
um,
only to get a handbook, and we got handbooks now. And she's gonna
and
look
paint
in her bag.
nails.
You go to find where you put your handbook. It's not there.
I swear I put it right in here. She digs through the bag for a minute.
You lost it again already?
Don't
lose
know.
things that quickly.
I'm not callous.
Well, Viola's gonna take out her guidebook or handbook and hold it in her hand and say, "You know what's gonna have to be done for you to read mine."
You drive a hard bargain.
I'm confused. What's so special about getting your nails done?
Have you ever had your fingernails painted, Beau?
Beau just lifts up his hand.
Are they painted?
No,
Yeah, I've said this before. He has black nail polish on.
Then I don't understand why you think it's not special if you enjoy having your fingernails painted.
It's not a deal to make out of it.
I want to paint her nails. Do you have a problem with this, Beau?
No, I just don't get the whole excitement.
I don't do
Because
that.
it's hard to get Ste'yn to do fun things, okay?
is Ste'yn currently wearing gloves, or are her hands out as she eats?
Is she even eating?
She's eating.
That's also a good question. Okay.
She's eating. She does keep her gloves on. I can do fun things. Just don't often have a reason to.
Girly fun things?
You don't do fun for a reason. You do it for fun. That's the reason.
No?
When's the last time you like dressed up in a
Just
fancy
no.
dress or something?
Have you ever done something fun before? Because now I'm concerned.
No, one question at a time. We don't want to overload her.
That's true. She looks like she's having trouble.
I only owned a fancy dress once. I think I was 5 or
What
5.
about all the funerals I imagine you attend? You don't dress up for those.
You just
Probably
went
is
back.
what she's wearing now.
And sorry, what was the other question?
I have no idea.
Something about fun stuff. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Something
Snow
about
asked it.
when,
Oh, have you
when
ever
was
had
the
fun
last time
before?
you- Oh, there you go.
Because now I'm concerned that you don't actually know what fun is.
She has
And that
fun every
makes me
time she goes
sad.
to a graveyard.
Yes, F is for friends. No.
Oh, that old elven chant.
I've never had much reason to try and just have fun. There's always been something else to do.
Well, good thing you met us.
No,
Yeah.
she's
She looks like she's having a
genuinely
ball.
heartbroken.
Well, Ste'yn, if you don't want to suffer through hanging out with the girls, I'm happy to paint your nails right now.
Maybe not while we eat, because the smell is not the best.
Well, yeah,
After.
obviously. If we're still eating, I can't use my hands to paint fingernails now, can I?
Whichever would be more fun.
Okay, then we're definitely doing it with the girls later.
Wonderful.
Then you can clear up the whole necromancy thing.
Yes, thank you for reminding me that I have to clear that up.
Sorry. I mean, I am sorry. It does probably look like I'm sorry, but I am.
Insight check.
Well, that's what we'll be doing after dinner. I don't know what will you two be up to?
Boys, are the boys putting anything together for the Harvest Lamps Festival? I know the girls are supposed to be putting together a booth.
How would we know?
Do you
Been
not
there,
talk?
Here, around. No, we've been out and about.
I've been with you guys for most of the time, and I've been able to talk to the girls and figure out what's going on.
You
Yeah,
went
but
once.
you wanted to talk to them.
You don't want to make friends and talk to people?
Do I seem to want to make friends and talk to people?
Yes, you seem like you just want to be best friends with everybody you meet.
Insight check.
I am friends with most people I meet, but I don't usually talk about work or the work that they're doing or whatever.
I don't know that it's
I usually
necessarily
try to talk about
work.
fun things.
Well, I think it's supposed to be a fun thing. Like it's putting up a booth for the Harvest Lamps Festival, so it could be any sort of booth for a festival. I mean, I don't necessarily know what all kinds of booths are at festivals, but I would assume that
And
some of
booths
them are fun.
What kind of booth are you making?
I don't know. Well, I didn't get that far. Like you said, we've been gone a lot.
That's fair. I mean, isn't there like 10 days? 9 days? I don't know how time works. Something like
Time's a
that.
construct.
Until then, I feel like there's a long time to make a booth.
I mean, you got to start
I've
planning
never-
so that you can get all your ducks in a row ahead of time.
You'll make so
Well,
much work.
to
out of
answer your
entertainment.
question, I don't think we're gonna go off talking about making booths.
So what are you gonna do?
I didn't think of it.
Well, I guess if there's nothing, if you all don't want to do something together, probably go back to the pike.
I come
I mean, I
join
could
after we
probably-
finish nails. Can't take that long.
Yeah. that'll be
What
fine.
else
be
is there to
surprised,
do
Dan.
at the plank?
Oh, there's always something
No,
to
please
do. at the
don't
pike.
get drunk for the second time today.
No, I was thinking I would do some performance. That's what I usually do
Ooh,
in taverns.
That'll be fun.
You should.
Sure and stop by.
Beau's gonna smirk a little bit and then looking at Stan's, I might go for a walk around town.
Do we like notice that? Is he like making it obvious that he's smirking at Ste'yn?
I mean, he's just smirking while staring in her direction, so I mean, he's not necessarily making much of anything.
Well, take care to not get mugged again. I'd hate to see something happen to you. It'd be a bloody mess.
We've seen that Beau can handle himself. I'm sure he'll be fine. It's not like he's gonna get blood everywhere. Or at least
Oh,
it won't
no.
be visible.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Right.
Why did y'all got so intense? What was that?
Ste'yn's overprotective.
I do tend to be a little bit overprotective, but I don't like to see people get hurt or hear
Or
about
get
it after the
hurt.
fact. Everything's fine.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
21.
Oh, dang.
Ooh,
There's a chance.
small one, but yeah.
And Snow roll as well.
I could go deception or persuasion, so I'm trying to decide which one to use. So I was doing the math for both.
I see. Do either of them beat a 21?
The total is
Mine's 18.
23.
23, dang.
23. What did you roll, Snow?
Just an 18.
Oh, okay.
Everything's fine. Just some banter. Trying to have fun.
Well, I mean, we have been asking you to have fun, so thank you for trying.
Right on.
Stan, what was that? I've never heard you say that in my life. Right on.
Have you ever said those words together in that order, in that way before?
With that gesture,
Never.
we're making progress.
Keep working on it.
Oh, gosh.
Pat her. Give her a pat.
Next time, you could try pointing like this.
Done.
Beau's
I-
MO.
Will not be doing that.
Oh, come on, Ste'yn. I thought you were trying to have fun.
I think I need to learn more about fun before I can pull that off.
Oh, speaking of fun, that book that you got a few days ago from Fate. Can I borrow it?
Oh,
Not a fun book.
yes.
What do you mean?
Yes.
It was a wizard's book.
Mm-hmm.
Am I thinking of a different book? The doctor book? Whose
Not the
book was that?
journal.
No, she
journal.
not the
This is a wizard's
journal.
book.
Okay.
He does still have the journal,
almost
but
said
he's
that.
not talking about the
From
journal.
Fate.
I thought that's what he was talking about.
Yeah,
I think
she'll.
Beau has the journal currently.
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Yes, he does.
It would be fate, but Ste'yn will easily find that in her bag, and hand it over to him.
Anything else y'all are doing at your fantastic, fun dinner? You finish up your food, make your exchanges, and seems the party parts. The girls.
Viola is gonna go by the pike to like order the tart ahead of time to make sure it's ready so she can just grab it on the way out after she's done with the girls.
It takes you a fair amount of time to get someone's full attention. You get a profuse apology from one of the barmaids as she notices you, takes your order, asks when you'll come to pick it up.
Like 45 minutes to an hour, maybe? Something like
How
that.
about I get it since I'm going to be here? And
Oh, yes! No, you can just grab it when it's ready and I'll
Yep.
come and grab it from you. That works perfectly. See, you're using your noggin, Snow. Look at you go.
You're in a very
Thank you.
supportive
Right on.
mood.
Right on, Snow.
No, you get comfortable at the pike, and shortly after you are settled in, the music begins to play, and you immediately recognize the a lilting tune you had heard the last time that Vav had been playing, and you see her up on stage performing for the crowd that has steadily grown. There are quite a few people, barely a seat available at any table tonight. Beau, where were you headed?
He was just gonna walk around for a little bit, see if anything happens.
Interesting. You go and you make your way out and head back to the area you've been before? Or you're
Yeah,
just
he'll probably
walking-
just go there first.
Yeah. To the a little more densely populated with night goer folks. And Ste'yn and Viola, you guys make your way upstairs to the women's barracks. Ste'yn and Viola, you guys make your way back upstairs. You go through the common room and the lines of mailboxes. You see the two large arches that lead for the doorways that lead to either barracks, and you make your way into the is semi-familiar now. You haven't spent as much time as others. Into the women's barracks. You find your particular room. When you open the door, there's already chatter coming out from the room. There are 3 other girls in there whom you recognize. You see Lear. She's sitting on her bed. It looks like she's holding a little pouch that also looks familiar. You've seen such a prayer pouch before. This kind of dusty colored cloth that is pulled together with some dark strands. You can see her, she's holding it. She seems to be maybe like messing with one of the ties on it, maybe knotting it. She is talking animatedly with the girl on another bed, Kiara, who has her long hair, her blonde hair braided down the back, down the middle. She's just sitting talking to Lear. And on the further bed, messing around with some kind of tool or other, you see Winna. She is got her legs crisscrossed as she's fiddling with something in her hand. And as you guys open the door, they turn and they see you. Lear springs out of the bed, almost from the bed all the way to the door to jump and hug Ste'yn, who she hasn't seen in like 2 weeks and was getting very concerned. She wraps her arms around you, Ste'yn. You were all right. Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad. I was so worried about you. Viola said you were all right, but I wasn't totally sure. Not that I don't trust you, Viola. I do, of course. But we hadn't seen you, Ste'yn. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm here. I'm alive. She gives her an awkward pat on the shoulder, leans down to slightly return the hug.
3 foot to 6 foot.
6'3". She's in her shoes, so probably 6'5". But
oh,
I love our tall girl.
Tall girl.
She do be tall.
Mm-hmm.
Apologize for making you worry about me. That was never an intention.
I know it wasn't, but I guess I am a little bit of a worrier. Just, it comes with being the oldest sibling. You know, just have to make sure everyone's okay. I heard you guys were going to stay with us. We were going to just hang out for once. I feel like everyone's been so busy. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, I finally stay in to paint, like let us paint her nails and stuff and have some girl time. So that's what we were going to do. Is Cynthia not around? Because I was going to borrow some of her nail polish.
When you say that, Winna pipes up. She's like, she's coming. She was back at the library. She's just had to keep studying. She just literally never stops. But she's gonna get here eventually. I say it's okay to use her polish. You're good.
Okay then. Stay in. Go ahead and sit down. And Viola will gesture to the bed and grab the black nail polish and sit down in front of her and like gesture for Ste'yn to like take off her gloves and put out her nails like this so Viola can paint them.
Very slowly and deliberately takes off her gauntlets and then takes off the gloves she wears underneath.
While she's doing that, Viola takes the manual back out of where she has it and then puts it back.
Oh joy, what fun this is going to be.
It will be so fun. And then Viola will start painting her nails and just do some idle chit chat while she's painting nails. And so, Winna, Lear, did either of you guys hear anything about Ziva or Jeremy today? I mean, I know I haven't been gone for that long, but
going on about Jeremy again.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get all the way over there, but the way she was talking, I was telling her, I might need to start praying a little bit, because that sounds like my kind of prayer.
There are many good kinds of prayer.
Yeah, I believe. So you did see this guy, is that what you're saying?
I haven't seen this guy. I don't know if Ste'yn has. She hangs out at Saker's Keep a lot more than I do. But like I said, it's just things that I've heard. Ste'yn and I haven't really talked about him, though. I don't know why. I didn't think to ask her about Jeremy.
Yeah, Ste'yn. What have you heard about this Jeremy?
Oops.
He's very talented, very astute in his clerical studies. I think I bumped into him once. A little bit clumsy, but
Really
Seems
talking
like a
him up.
decent fellow.
Cute.
I don't know your standards for cuteness.
Okay, is he your standards for cuteness?
Not exactly.
She looks back at Viola. So is she tasteless or what's going on?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not looking for that
Ste'yn
sort of relationship.
I was gonna
Don't
say,
know that I
Ste'yn
ever will
doesn't
be
really
looking for
tap
that.
into that very much.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to go there
Ste'yn,
myself.
I did notice a little something going on between you and Yonai. What's up with that?
What? Go on, girl.
He follows the same goddess I do, so I talked to him about that.
Is that all it
Is
takes?
that who you've been going up there to pray with in the evenings?
Oh, is that where you've been every night? Just a little prayer with Yonai?
No, I've slept in the graveyard with Snow.
With Snow?
That's that guy everyone talks about, the white hair, and he sings a lot and maybe dances some and like plays the music. He's into graveyard? That's not what I was expecting to hear.
Well, him and Ste'yn have a special relationship. They're like close friends, and so I think they enjoy their long chats together.
And all this while, like, Lear's just like patting your shoulders. Like, she's kind of like half laughing along, but it seems like she can tell your tenseness. And she's just like, But Kiara is also just kind of like laughing it in, but she's just like letting Winna talk, and she's just doing the back and forth between you, like the two beds, just letting you guys go. Winna does say, I didn't see Ziva, but I know I really wish she was around, because what I was trying to do today, I was trying to get ready and like set up some booth ideas, some like for how it would be set up, how we build it, because I'm ready to just get it built, right? But she's really good with that kind of planning. She's good with like everything. And normally she'd come around and she just kind of makes rounds. I think that's just something guards get to do maybe when they're not off, killing the dark and all that. But I didn't see her today, and I really could have used her help. I did not make the progress I wanted to make. So I didn't see her. Kui was around. But he's not nearly as good as Ziva at that. So I ended up with like a couple broken pieces. Oops.
Oh,
but
no.
yeah, but it's fine. I'm sure we'll get some more and it'll be fine. But Ziva would have been really helpful, but I didn't see her. I'll have to check for her tomorrow. Oh well. What were you guys up to today?
We just kind of strolled around. I mean, it's weird because today was like our first free day not being on assignment, and so we just kind of wandered and chatted with some friends, and we were trying to look for Ziva too, and we couldn't find her. I asked around in whatever the name of that keep is, and did not find her. Kepner's. There's too many keeps to keep track of.
Well, Kepner's command.
Okay, well,
I know, I'm there a lot.
I feel like I haven't even hardly spent 2 days in this guardianship, but also at the same time, it feels like it's been a year.
That's... Why were you looking for Ziva again? Because I'm not saying you don't look like... Okay.
She let me borrow some Mithril armor and some night goggles, because seems like everybody else I know can just see in the dark. I, being a human, cannot. So, yeah.
Kiara kind of she nods, look, there's a lot of things we can do, but, we'd like to sleep at night or something.
Imagine that.
Not in graveyards, Ste'yn.
They're very peaceful.
Are they?
They are.
Why is it peaceful to sleep next to dead people?
They're not talkative.
That's fair.
And they don't
I might have to try that.
Unless they just come back for some reason, then they can be very talkative, and Viola's gonna give Ste'yn a pointed look and nudge her head towards the girls to be clear up the necromancy thing.
What's dead should stay dead, let me make that clear. And if it comes back from the dead, it needs to be destroyed.
Ooh, okay. And Kiara and Winna look at each other and look back at you, Ste'yn, and Lear says, I think that makes it pretty clear that she's not if she likes the quiet, she's not bringing skeletons back out of the dirt.
That would be an abomination to disturb the peace of the dead.
And gross.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's common, but there are some people that part of their skill does involve, you kind of see your face, just different types of magic.
Not all types of magic are necessarily good or looked on with favor to practice.
Yes, and also often, well, your intention behind it can make a big difference.
Doesn't take away the action that you actually take, no matter what the intention.
Well, yes, but perhaps the action itself has been misunderstood, and
Bringing
maybe
up a skeleton from the ground? Making a zombie?
if that's what you did, but I mean, not all necromancy is that.
No. There are many forms of necromantic magic that are used for healing, are used for wholeness, are used to
Right.
protect.
Yeah, and
And that-
sometimes the things that can be helping protect you, sometimes it takes on different forms.
It doesn't make it right to disturb what has been laid to rest.
Yes, if it is disturbing it, but there are times where it's not a matter of disturbing, but it's a matter of assistance. It's chosen.
I
She kind of
think you're
shakes
going to find that we disagree on this. The bringing
okay.
up
Viola's eyeballing Lear for a medallion.
Give me an investigation check.
She's an Oathbreaker paladin.
19.
Her holy symbol is very clear on her. Also one that she wears around her neck. She doesn't hide hers. It is also the symbol of Sumlotl. It looks very
Right.
similar to Vaughn's.
my goddess is all about souls, vocations, calling, light. And when a soul has finished its journey, it is time for it to rest, and that means respecting the body which it leaves behind.
But that's only if the soul has finished its journey. Just because you're not seeing it walk around, just because you're not seeing it breathe, that doesn't mean that its journey is done.
What do you think happens after you die?
Well, there are a lot of different ideas about what might happen, and mainly I'm focused on the ritual of the burial itself and even the soul coming to life. But what happens afterwards, I mean, well, again, just because we don't see the person walking around, it doesn't mean that they're entirely done. There are other planes, other existences, sort of, kind of. It's hard to explain. One of the acolytes could probably explain better than me. But I'm just saying that just because you see it and it looks different and it looks like it ought to probably still be dead and rotting in the ground, doesn't mean necessarily that its journey is done.
Or then maybe the rest of its journey is to be finished off again and allowed to rest.
Maybe. It might just depend. Hey, Kiara, what did you do today? She quickly turns
Ste'yn's
the
great at
question.
making friends.
Both Winna and Kiara were watching this interaction, and Kiara looks a little surprised that she was addressed. I was up by the Champion's Ward. There was all this commotion going on, with like that guy who was leaving. They were taking that guy out of here.
Oh.
Yeah, it
The
was super
captain
cool.
of
Oh, the bandit captain.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was just part of the crowd. It just looked cool. I wanted to see what was
Did
going
you
on.
see Goro up there?
Remember exactly. I don't think so. There was that. I only saw one guy who was wearing like those white robes that I think all those acolytes like to wear around here, but he was a dwarf guy,
Aglin.
chunky dwarf guy. I guess. I don't know. I'll just agree with you if you say so. I don't know.
It's
You
a
spend more
dangerous
time there
thing
than I
to
do. Agreeing with you?
Agreeing with someone when you don't know for sure if they're the right person to agree with.
Viola's kind of like grabbing Ste'yn's fingers kind of hard and like giving her a
She
look
keeps
like,
moving.
No, like, quit making not friends and arguing and weird things.
I guess that's a good
Oh.
point.
Right, I'm supposed to be having fun.
I mean, that probably is fun for you having academic conversations. Just wait till Cynthia gets here. You can talk to her all about her books.
And as you say that, the door slowly swings open and you see Cynthia walk in her very bright pink dress that she's wearing now. And she had her hat back on with that veil, but the veil is kind of pulled back and up, sitting over the top hat. She has a stack of books in her hand and she walks in and she closes the door and she walks straight over to her bed and sits down. She hasn't said anything immediately.
Cynthia, were your ears burning? I just mentioned you because Ste'yn is pretty academic as well, and I figured the two of you would enjoy talking about your books.
There's a quiet pause that feels long, and then she finally looks up at you. What? Sorry, distracted. What'd you say?
Is everything
Are
okay?
you alright?
Huh? Yeah, I've just spent hours at the library, and so I'm just ready to read some more. Oh, right, we were doing our nails. Sure, go ahead, roll.
I'll also
Is it
do
just
one.
the books.
Okay. Just the books.
13.
30.
Why do I even roll?
Why do I even ask? She's rubbing at her eyes, and that doesn't seem unusual for someone who spent hours at a library, and she does look a little bit tired. Ste'yn, you note that she definitely looks tired. She definitely doesn't have that same kind of big personality that you had seen when you first met her, and she is kind of clutching her books pretty close, even as she says, "Oh, right, we were painting nails." She feels a bit disconnected from the conversation.
Well, yeah, we were painting nails. I hope you don't mind. When I said it was okay if I went ahead and used your black nail polish on Ste'yn, I felt like it fit her vibe a little bit better and went ahead and started painting her nails. I'm guessing by now I'm like close to done, if not already done.
Oh yeah, at least like the first coat is definitely drying at this point. Yeah. Cynthia just nods. Yeah, totally. I said you could. So I just had Winna make sure that you guys were, getting started. I said I might be a little bit late because, look, if they're going to close everything down and not let us have assignments anymore, how else am I going to spend my time? Obviously, I'm going to study some more.
They're not allowing
Yeah.
assignments anymore?
I don't think it's that they're not allowing per se. They're just like not giving them out. I guess if you still wanted to ask for something, you could, but I don't know. They're not giving them out. I think we're going to be doing something else until the festival. Maybe after the festival, they'll get back to normal. I just need Master Wells to come back because I can't work with him if he's not here. So I was just talking to, Boodrake was there as well. But he's off in the boys' barracks probably now. But we had just all these books and we were just like basically trying to memorize them because, we're going to be probably busy or whatever. Or maybe it's free time. I'm kind of hoping it's just free time because there's a lot that I could learn. And if the best teacher is not around and I was just getting to kind of get his teaching stuff, if I have to wait, then I have to wait. But whatever.
Girl, I feel ya. I feel like I've been waiting for so long to start training with Storkum and it's taking forever. Like, I just want to start immediately.
The room kind of gets quiet for a moment as like they don't, it's like, it's jarring that you keep using like a first name. They're just like,
Viola loves it.
Yeah, I bet that's frustrating. But Cynthia but anyway, yeah, nails. Yeah, totally start that. I just have to finish this chapter.
What are you reading on tonight?
So this, I mean, it's not like divine stuff, so I don't know if that's like your whole thing, but this is so it's a little more geared towards like evocation, but I tend to do more conjuration, or no, other way around. I'm tired. This is more conjuration, and I tend to do more evocation. So I was just borrowing a book that had been suggested by Master Wells, and I wanted to just head start for after the festival. So just some tips and tricks and some basic stuff to memorize the formulas.
Nice.
Dives back in.
Okay. Well, Ste'yn, I'm just gonna finish up your nails, and then did you want to do mine? I've got that gold sparkly nail polish.
Sure, I'd love to.
Viola will get out the nail polish and hand it to Ste'yn. So then
Her
Ste'yn
nails are about to get wrecked.
Oh, well, well, it's like an aunt giving a toddler her nail polish to let her do it. It's the experience, not the end product.
Yeah, Viola can grab some gloves too. So the night continues, this time continues. Ste'yn, after your nails are done, you start on Viola's. Give me either a dexterity. I keep wanting to say sleight of hand. I know it's not like trickery or anything, but like deftness. You know what I mean? Or I kind of want to make it like also like a performance or something. Like how well can you like? I don't know. Let's stick to the sleight of hand.
Pretending to know what she's doing in front of all the other girls.
Yeah. Just for the confidence boost. Just do it as sleight of hand.
While Ste'yn's painting Viola's nails, Viola wanted to specifically ask Cynthia if she's heard anything about Ziba. She's not going to bring up Jeremy again.
Fair. She has not. She forgot who Ziba is.
Makes sense.
That's a 13 on the sleight of hand check.
You know, for baby's first manicure, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. You know how to differentiate between a nail and skin, so like good for you. The lines are a little streaky. The coat, you didn't quite let it dry enough, so there's some clump here and there. But overall, like solid effort for a first time.
Ste'yn, they look so lovely. You did such a good job. Thank you so much.
Right. You're welcome.
As you guys are also doing this, Ste'yn, Lear does mention to you, by the way, I know that I was trying to tell you about the funeral.
Helene?
That was, yeah. They were starting to plan that at Saker's Keep. So if you are still interested, I think they're still letting us at least learn about it. I don't know all of what's happening anymore. It sounds like they might be maybe leaving it up to the head acolytes after all, instead of letting us participate, which is really unfortunate because I really would love to participate in something like that. But I'm talking too much again. But anyway, I just want to let you know that they were talking about it some more, and I heard that they actually were going to kind of make it part of the festival a little bit.
Oh.
Like a celebration. So we get this chance to see this other cultural ritual for a burial, and apparently for the Slyweavers, it's a whole beautiful nature ceremony with like a big procession that like goes through all of the spots that would be like important to her. It sounds so cool. And then it ends, well, they were saying that it's gonna end with the opening bonfire. How cool would that be?
Sounds like a spectacle of a ritual, but that's what's desired.
I don't know her people very well, but that sounds like what they were told to do. And they said in the handbook that they would do their best to respect the cultural wishes for anyone who should find themselves in such a position. And I think it's pretty important.
The handbook, Viola will get hers out and hand it over to Ste'yn.
She finally got the handbook. Excellent.
Might want to read it quick before you lose it again.
I will read it soon. And she takes it and tucks it inside her backpack, fairly deep in there, underneath some other stuff. She doesn't know how it keeps disappearing.
Gonna weigh it down.
Put it under the box with her sister's skull, you know.
That's right. That one. Yeah. You guys spend this time nails getting done, chit-chatting with the girls about booth stuff, perhaps. Having a pretty good time. Pretty nice time. How long were you planning to stay up there?
Not more than like an hour, I think, because Viola wants to go down to the stables.
Okay, sounds good. Snow.
On our next tale.
Valve seems to be just setting the mood down there. How well can you follow along?
Usually decently well. We shall see.
But you can feel the telltale hand along the belt looking for something. Look, you're on you got my wrist and you scratched me right there. I'm gonna tell the Peace Watch. And you're gonna get in so much trouble.
Try it.
Probably hug me goodnight now. I need to spend some time with Atala tonight.
Another carrot for Buttercup. Oh, happy day. Happy day indeed. First they get me injured, almost sell me, and now they won't give me carrots.
Pistachio, we weren't gonna sell you. I don't know what you're talking about. You ran away from me. I tried to stop it, okay?
You mistreated me. This has been an unexpected use of some of our time